The courthouse stands over the empty streets, like a fortress, the tall columns throwing long shadows across the broken pavement. The air within is heavy with expectation, the sort of air that makes your chest constrict without reason. Christine sits by herself on the wooden bench, her tightly clenched hands in her lap. She glances straight ahead, but her eyes dart nervously, following the lines of the walls, the edges of the doors, the gleaming wood of the judge's bench. This is the day she has feared, prepared for, and hoped she might never have to encounter at all. It's the day that her love for her children and her eager need for justice are forced together in the cold fluorescent glare of a courtroom. She's reliving the months preceding this moment in her head. Late nights, studying legal forms, hushed discussions with loved ones and friends, hours upon hours attempting to get her thoughts in order, so she could articulate clearly when the time came. But all that groundwork seems to potentially dissolve in the face of the moment. Robyn sits several rows back, serene looking on the surface, but Christine catches the faint quiver of her hands, the constant fidgeting with her notes, the thin press of her lips. Each small movement, each twitch of expression speaks volumes. Everyone present in this room has their own secrets, their own terrors, their own desires, and all of them will soon be laid bare. The hall door opens and Kody enters. His presence appears to change the air itself. The placid, contained facade that he normally wears like a shield is slightly askew, and Christine sees the tension in his jaw, the faint lines around his eyes that almost amount to a frown. He sweeps the room with his eyes, his attention resting on each of the wives, as if weighing their feelings silently, speculating about their motives. Christine quivers. She knows him better than anyone, how he masks anger behind warmth, frustration behind smiles, and yet today is different. Something delicate and explosive lies just beneath the surface, and she is afraid she will be the one to set it off. The bailiff's voice slices through the strained silence. Court is now in session. All rise. The sound of footsteps against the waxed floor sounds deafening, despite being only a few people moving. Christine stands, her heart beating so loudly she knows that everyone must be able to hear it. The judge comes in, robes billowing, an air of power about him. He does not speak initially. He just surveys the room, as though taking the measure of tension, allowing the gravity of the moment to sink in. And then, with a sharp rap of the gavel, he calls the case. The morning has begun. Robyn takes the stand first. Her voice when she speaks is even but has beneath it an undertone of passion that causes everyone to shift forward before they even know it. She talks of things that occurred months in the past, long before anyone had dreamed that this war would come to the courthouse. She talks of vows made and abandoned, of silent confidences overheard, of secrets shared in the dark of night. Every word lingers in the air, thick and charged, that the air between them is almost live. Christine listens with every fiber of her being tensed for the blow. Her fingers contract, nails biting into her palms, as memories she believed she had pushed away return like unwanted shadows. Kody shifts forward slightly, his body tense, fists wrapped around the edge of the bench. His mouth opens to say something, then closes again, gobbled up by some internal arithmetic. He doesn't cut in, but Christine can glimpse the tempest raging behind his eyes, a tempest she knows might strike at any moment. The courtroom appears to grow smaller as Robyn reveals the first exhibit. Papers, jottings, and tape-recorded messages, each item delicately laid out, every single one a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. The judge takes them in, and the tension tightens further. Christine's gaze darts to Kody, waiting for some sign of response. And there it is, a flash of anger swiftly suppressed, but unmistakable. Robyn's hand is calm, as she sets out the first chain of events. Her tone is even, measured, but the emotional subtext is unmissable. Each well-crafted word is intended to render the truth apparent, even when it's difficult to hear. The first witness is summoned, a family friend who has witnessed the tension mount over months. Their testimony provides background, but raises more questions. There are delicate contradictions, tiny hesitations that suggest truths yet to come. Christine observes every movement, every look shared between Kody and Robyn, aware that even the tiniest detail might weigh in one direction or another. The wives whisper among themselves, exchanging glances full of concern, fear, and curiosity. The tension is strained, like a string pulled to its breaking point. You won't believe what Robyn uncovers next. It's a secret that might alter everything Christine believed about her family. The courtroom lights flicker, become brighter and cruder, illuminating every face, every flutter of discomfort. Robyn plays a tape, a conversation that was never supposed to be heard. The sound swells through the room, bouncing off the walls, raw and intimate. Trembling voices, secrets spilled in secret, words charged with significance. Christine's throat swells with a lump. Kody's face contorts, a burst of anger mixed with desperation passing over his face. He has the urge to open his mouth, but the judge's hand intervenes. There is complete silence. The instant appears frozen in time, as if the world has shifted, and everyone is unable to glance away. Christine's heart pounds, memories crashing into the moment. She remembers the nights the children slept with tears in their eyes, when she felt invisible, inaudible. All past wrongs now glare under the bright lights of the courtroom. The faces of the children pop up in her head, their little hands holding on to her, trusting her. She must not fall apart, not for herself, but for them. The responsibility weighs heavily, crushing her shoulders, constricting her chest, and still, a glimmer of hope flickers. This is her opportunity, her moment to stand up for what she knows is right. Outside the courtroom, reporters murmur and cameras click, but within the courtroom, the commotion is far away, inconsequential. What's important is here, in this room, with the individuals whose lives are interwoven in ways that cannot be untangled. Every wife has her own history, her own complaints, her own allegiances, and for the first time, those histories will be tried in the unforgiving glare of examination. Alliances will turn, trust will be shattered, hearts will shatter. And Christine understands that what is decided here today will reverberate far beyond the courthouse doors. The day of testimony comes to a close with a shock, a piece of paper no one anticipated, a surprise that suggests a secret life for Kody, something Christine had guessed at but never known. The weight of the day bears down on all. Robyn's face is white but set. Christine has hope and worry swirling in her chest, and Kody leaves with a mask of control that barely hides the tempest raging inside. As the doors shut behind them, the light of the afternoon sun casts long shadows, bathing the walls of the courthouse with an almost foreboding light. With every step further from the courtroom, every step is weighted with unspoken worries and doubts. The wives exchange brief, guarded phrases, each one carefully chosen, each one revealing only so much. The fight has commenced, and no one knows who will win, who will fall, or who will be irrevocably changed. And just when you think the first day is finished, one last secret waits in the wings, poised to rock the family to its foundations, and no one knows what's around the corner. Christine heads to her car, hands still ever so slightly shaking. Her head spins as she replays the tapes, the depositions, the subtle facial expressions she can't erase. Somewhere in the quiet pandemonium of her mind, she knows that nothing regarding her family will ever be the same. Not today. Not after the secrets are entirely out. And sitting in the car, gazing out the window at the courthouse receding behind her, she knows for sure that the battle for her children's future is just starting. Holden, quote, "See Courtroom," falls into a heavy stillness as the judge brings the case to order for the day. The high ceiling, slightly echoing with each cough or rustled paper, seems almost oppressive, bearing down on all who sit there. Christine fusses with her jacket, attempting to slow her sprinting heartbeat, although she knows it's hopeless. Each step of this journey seems enormous. Each sentence uttered here has the potential to alter the lives of her children forever. She scans the room at the wives, Robyn, Janelle, Meri, and even Kody. Each of them bears a burden she can all but see, sensed in the knot of their shoulders, the strain around their eyes. Robyn's up front, as intended. Her tone is assertive but steady, like she's practiced each sentence 100 times. "Your Honor," she starts, "I'd like to discuss the issues I have with the custody arrangement that was negotiated." She presents her argument methodically, listing interactions, incidents, and perceived slights. Her language isn't legalistic. Far from it. It's personal. Christine can sense betrayal in every utterance Robyn makes, even when some of it rings true for things Christine has herself known but not spoken. Kody crosses his arms, his brow furrowing. "That's not how it happened," he says with a mutter. though the judge hasn't yet granted him leave to speak. His hands beat impatiently against the edge of the bench. Christine's gaze narrows narrowly at the gesture, familiar with the frustration she has witnessed so many times before. It feels weightier today, though it feels public. The first witness is a family friend, who is brought in to describe the day-to-day dynamics of the family. Their evidence appears innocuous at first, bordering on the mundane weekend chores, school pickups, and dinner at home. But as questions get sharper, cracks start to show. Tiny discrepancies, pauses, and tiny inflections in the tone suggest secrets hovering just beneath. Christine observes each response intently, knowing that even the minutest detail might sway the balance. You won't believe what one text message shows next. It shifts everything the wives believed they understood about Kody. Robyn presents the first piece of evidence, a collection of messages exchanged between Kody and herself over the past year. The judge leans in, eyes narrowing, as the room holds its collective breath. Christine feels her stomach tighten as she reads through the documents in her mind, recognizing some of the arguments, feeling the weight of months of tension condensed into a few carefully chosen words. The air becomes strained, as Kody stands up to address, finally allowed his turn. His voice is measured, controlled, but the contained anger beneath the surface tension clear. Your Honor, certain of these allegations are misleading, he says, sweeping an arm toward the evidence. They're taken out of context. He attempts to stay calm, but a glimmer of frustration gives him away. Christine sees it, the set of his jaw, the flicker of his nostrils, the shake of his fingers. Even before the court, the naked emotion filters through. The judge jumps in now and then, seeking clarifications and explanation. The attorneys on each side interrupt, highlighting inconsistencies or driving home the important points. The air is charged with tension, all eyes fixed on the drama playing out. Christine is clenching the edge of the bench, knuckles white, heart racing, aware that each response she makes could reflect on her case. Robyn's second testimony is more intimate. She talks of sleepless nights, times when the well-being of the children was in doubt, and times when she was ignored and dismissed. Christine can identify to a certain extent, but there's a clear hurt. Robyn's account presents Kody in a way Christine hasn't even come to appreciate before. The emotional burden is so great, bordering on overwhelming. Janelle and Meri watch silently, whispering occasionally to one another, exchanging glances that convey unspoken concerns. Christine notices the tension in their shoulders, the subtle shaking of hands, and realizes that everyone in this courtroom carries a hidden fear. Even the children's futures hang precariously in the balance, unseen but omnipresent. And just when you believe the initial testimonies are done, a surprising recording appears, with intimate talks that nobody should have heard. The tape plays, the room filled with the familiar sound of voices heavy with emotion. Christine listens to Kody's defensive voice, Robyn's held back frustration, and even the little seeds of doubt sown in her own voice from before. The room is stunned silent, the burden of these admissions weighed upon every shoulder. The judge leans forward, obviously intrigued, as Kody squirms in his seat, frustration writ large, but contained. Christine's mind reverts back to the nights she had spent feeling alone, bearing the responsibility of bringing up children in a complicated, sometimes broken family. She recalls hushed rows, the silent minutes of weeping that no one witnessed, the nights that she wondered if she was strong enough. And now, all of it is condensed into this courtroom theater, laid bare for everyone to see. The interrogation goes on, every lawyer asking probing questions, each witness answering in ways that peel back the layers of truth and falsehood. Christine observes carefully, paying attention to every pause, every intonation, every look between Kody and the other wives, even the tiniest movement, a sideways glance, a pursing of lips, a raised eyebrow, is of historic proportion in this intricate dance of deposition. Kody only now summons his own witnesses, individuals who have observed him interacting with the children, and can attest to his involvement in raising them. Their testimonies are adamant but conflicted, expressing both the love that he has for his children and the tension that has developed in the home. Christine observes, weighing each word, attempting to know the effect these words will have. The courtroom is like a game of chess, every move deliberate, every disclosure planned, every look a silent move. But the tension really erupts when one wife suddenly has a breakdown and uncovers a secret that might turn the entire custody fight. Robyn makes her way back to the bench, holding up documents that detail financial plans, custody calendars, and personal messages never intended for publication. Christine can't help but feel a mix of respect and envy. The detail and planning behind Robyn's preparation are undeniable, but it highlights how uninformed Kody appears in contrast. The future of the children, their security, their contentment, all of it now rides on these fragments being understood by the judge. The first day of testimony comes to a close, but not before a sensational bombshell. A hitherto undisclosed private text message from Kody appears in court. Its message is cryptic and refers to decisions coming out of the blue and actions taken without input from the wives. Gasps run through the courtroom. Christine's eyes go wide as she hears it in her head, seeing the possible implications. Kody's face goes white, his tightly controlled facade for an instant slipping, revealing the burden of what has been learned. The wives exchange nervous looks, tension winding tighter with each tick of the clock. Christine's heart pounds, torn between relief that the truth is finally emerging and terror at what unknown aftermath. Even Robyn, normally calm, reveals a small tremor of fear. The emotional charge in the room is palpable, weighing down on them like a solid mass. As the judge rises to adjourn for the day, Christine experiences a combination of fatigue and resolve. Each exchange, each glance, each shred of evidence has taken its toll, rewriting the family narrative in ways that cannot be erased. Beyond the courtroom, the afternoon sunlight casts long shadows on the sidewalk, a physical metaphor for the secrets and unspoken terrors that still hover in the atmosphere. Christine ambles slowly down the corridor, her thoughts agitating with schemes, recollections, and apprehensions. She realizes that this is merely the start. The next few weeks will be beset with further revelations, emotional battles, and court disputes that will try the very foundations of their family. Every wife has her own agendas, secrets, and misgivings, and every one of them will have a part to play in what is to come. And just when Christine thinks she has things under control, one shocking confession comes close to tearing all that she has struggled for apart. By the time everyone departs from the courthouse, the tension is not gone but has escalated instead. Christine remains parked in her vehicle, eyes fixed on the courthouse receding from view, her mind in a whirlwind of feelings and thoughts. She is aware that her battle for the custody of her children is just beginning. The war has only just commenced, and the next session shall be even more heated, even more emotional, and even more unpredictable. Her phone vibrates with messages from family and friends, each one a reminder that the world is watching, waiting, and judging. She responds thoughtfully, keeping hidden the whirlwind of emotions within. There's no place for doubt, no place for hesitation. Every decision, every reaction, every choice counts more than ever. The sun falls below the horizon, tinting the sky orange and red, a colorful echo of the passion and turmoil bubbling just below the surface of this broken family. Christine breathes deeply, attempting to ground herself, recognizing that when she gets back, the courtroom will require every ounce she has to offer, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. A family member is keeping a secret so volatile that once it's revealed, it might destroy the tenuous basis of trust and loyalty in ways none are ready to confront. The courtroom is colder than normal. The following morning, the fluorescent lights vibrate silently, bouncing off the shining wood and stone walls, filling the space with tension that's almost tangible. Christine gets there early, folder of notes in hand, heart pounding. She's already rehashing yesterday's proceedings in her head. The recordings, the testimonies, the secret text messages that shook her to her foundation. She can feel the weight of everyone's eyes on her, even before she steps inside. Robyn sits several rows in front, stiff-backed, radiating quiet resolve. There's a ferocity to her eyes that Christine can't help but notice. Although they're technically on the same side in raising the kids, the courtroom turns them into competitors, their allegiances challenged by the heat of adversarial attention. Christine experiences a burst of jealousy, frustration, and apprehension at the same time. She's aware that Robyn is strategic, concise, and ferocious, and she's just going to demonstrate it. Kody walks in, serene on the outside, but a subtle tension in his shoulders, a faint shake in his fingers as he puts down his briefcase. He glances around the room, looking at Christine, then Robyn, then Janelle and Meri. His normal equilibrium seems strained, a thin mask covering an intensifying storm. The first day has done it to him. He is more guarded, more tactical, and maybe more desperate than ever before. The judge summons the court to session, and at once the atmosphere changes. The lawyers start asking Kody questions, prodding him about the minutiae of his daily interaction with the children. Every question is precise, designed to bring out inconsistencies or pinpoint the times Christine or the other wives felt left out or overlooked. Kody replies cautiously, his words weighing carefully. But Christine senses the strain behind his eyes. He's weighing each word and foretelling each response. The first evidence Christine's lawyer introduces is a set of photographs and files, depicting instances where Kody's focus was split, duties forgotten, and vows shattered. The photos are chosen deliberately, presenting flashes of irritation, wariness, and sometimes abandonment. Christine observes the judge intently examining them, the eyes squinting. Kody fidgets in his seat, lightly drumming fingers on the bench, a nervous habit he cannot conceal. Just when it appears the evidence is sufficient, a surprise email appears that no one anticipated, one that potentially flips the custody case on its head. Robyn is summoned once more, this time to share experiences of her observing interactions between the children and Kody. Her tone is even, nearly detached, but the language has depth. She recounts times of tension, minute indicators of emotional distance, and intermittent disagreements that were never resolved. Each phrase is overlaid with implications left unspoken, compelling Christine to accept emotions she had kept hidden deep within. Christine sees the grip on Kody's arm tighten. His jaw is set, a vein standing out along his temple. The courtroom recedes, the air compressing with each statement. Christine feels her own heartbeat accelerating, adrenaline coursing through her body. The courtroom is no longer a forum of law. It is a battlefield, emotions cutting as surely as any blade. The judge hesitates, giving a moment for the gravity of Robyn's testimony to register. Christine draws a breath, attempting to calm her nerves. She can feel the children in her mind, visualizing their little faces, their silent fears, their pure hope that their family will make it through this tempest. The emotional tug is almost too much, but she knows that she has to keep her wits about her. Janelle is called to testify next. Her voice is hesitant, subdued, nearly apologetic. She speaks of what she has seen, small things perhaps that the stranger might find insignificant, but things of vast importance in comprehending the dynamics within the family. Christine hears, marking the faint overtones in Janelle's speech, the hesitation that reveals inner turmoil. Janelle is devoted, yes, but she is also guarded, watching out for her own interests, and her witness testifies to that fine balance. And then, the sudden interruption upsets the whole courtroom. A buzzing phone, a hushed-out accusation, and a surprise witness steps forward, saying he knows a secret that can turn everything around. The disruption is in the figure of a man in the back pew, a friend of the family who has been quiet until this moment. He rises uncertainly, looking around at the judge, Kody, and the wives. His hands tremble slightly as he shows a series of text messages that he says he has discovered. The messages are appalling. Exchanges between Kody and an unnamed third party, making decisions regarding the lives of the children without speaking to Christine or the other wives. The courtroom is filled with gasps. Christine's chest constricts. Kody's face goes white, and his perfectly constructed facade breaks just enough for everyone to catch a glimpse of the tension hiding beneath. Robyn leans forward slightly, eyes narrowing. "Where did these come from?" she asks, voice steady but cutting. Her calmness contrasts sharply with the tension in the room, making every word hit harder. Christine feels a surge of satisfaction, tempered with anxiety. The evidence is compelling, yes, but it also threatens to make the situation even more volatile. The judge signals for silence, pounding the gavel. "We will review these messages carefully before proceeding," he states, his tone firm but measured. Christine can feel the weight of the moment pressing down even further. Every revelation now carries immense consequence. Every glance, every expression, every unspoken thought matters. Meri is also called to testify, her hands folded tightly in her lap. Her voice is gentle, nearly shy, but she testifies with precision regarding her witness of Kody's relations with the children. She speaks of moments of gentleness, yes, but also of moments of separation. Moments when the children did not know if they were receiving his attention or his priority. Christine listens intently, each word piercing her. Each description building a portrait that both frightens and confirms her deepest suspicions. Abruptly, an inaudible recording comes on, and private talks between Kody and one of the wives are heard. Words intended to remain secret, now clear and irrevocable for all to listen to. The recording fills the room, crisp and intimate. Christine listens to the undertones in Kody's voice, the veiled defensiveness, the suggestions of exasperation, the pauses and decision. The words aren't merely legal proof, they're emotional reality, untamed and unvarnished. Christine's heart tightens. Each recollection of doubt, of hushed disputes, of sleepless nights worrying about the children's welfare comes flooding back. She struggles to keep up appearances, aware that the world is watching, that the judge is observing her, and that each emotion might influence the verdict. Kody has a chance to reply, his tone managed, but shaking a little with contained emotion. Your Honor, these tapes don't give the entire picture, he starts, pointing to the papers and photos on the table before the court. There is context, intent, and history involved. Christine records the small hesitation in his words, a faint crack which indicates fear, or guilt, or maybe both. The tit-for-tat goes on, each side bringing forth more evidence, witnesses, and first-person testimony. Christine catches herself yo-yoing between hope and fear, adrenaline and fatigue. The courtroom is a theater of raw human emotion, anger, love, fear, betrayal, all meeting in an environment constrained by law, but motivated by personal interest. And just as Christine believes the testimony has been brought to a climax, a bombshell from the mouth of an unlooked-for witness reduces everyone to shocked silence. A lawyer stands up in surprise, holding up a sealed envelope not originally part of the evidence. Within the note, in a scrawled handwriting, is from an unnamed family member, where secrets, observations, and charges were penned and never spoken of in public. The words are cutting, raw, and intensely personal. Christine's gut lurches as she reads the contents in her head, the accusations, the confessions, the innuendo admissions that can tip the scales in her direction or shatter them. Robyn's face whitened, but she recovers swiftly, straightening her spine and inclining her head slightly. Kody's fists lock tighter around the bench's edge, knuckles pale as alabaster. His lips compress into a narrow line as he fights to keep his cool. Christine feels tension tightening within the cage of her chest, as she realizes this information will cause shockwaves throughout all the elements of the case. The judge reads the note intently, his face impulsive. He makes a minute pause, allowing each side a moment to take in the reality of the situation. Outside the courtroom, reporters murmur and cameras flash, but in here, the world seems suspended. Everyone within is trapped in an instant of raw vulnerability, aware that the scale of trust, loyalty, and family ties hangs precariously on a knife's edge. Christine exits at the end of the day, everything weighing on her like a tangible burden. Her brain runs through the evidence, the witness accounts, the recordings, and the scribbled note. She understands that the upcoming sessions will be even more intense, even more emotionally gripping. The secrets shared today are just the start. The revelations that remain could upend everything. One last secret hides in the wings, somebody's secret confession that will be a shock to the whole family when it is finally revealed. With the sun dipping over the courthouse walls, the evening sky colored in the pinks and oranges, Christine breathes deeply. The battle for her children is not even close to being over. Each step she takes in the right direction is tense, every choice important. She understands that the next session will challenge not just her legal approach, but also the essence of her family. Emotional stakes have never been so high, and the future is unclear, perilous, and completely engrossing. A secret witness gets ready to testify, someone who is aware of the best-kept family secret, and when they talk, it could bring down everything that Christine fought to keep intact. The sunlight hardly reaches the courthouse windows, so the room is a grayish gloom. The air is charged, almost electric, as if the walls expect something to crackle. Christine enters first, her hands shaking, her folder pressed to her chest like armor. Last week's sessions swirled through her mind, Robyn's story, the recordings, the clenched answers of Kody, the cryptic note. She can't help feeling that today will be the turning point. Robyn sits close by, posture perfect, gaze keen and watchful. Despite their past being that of allies, Christine is beset by an odd tension. Robyn's composed, measured nature is unnerving. It is as if she has been holding herself in abeyance, waiting precisely this moment to uncloak more than anyone might have imagined. Christine senses the stillness brewing between them, one with no connection to courtroom tactics and everything to do with secret truths and subterranean betrayals. Kody arrives last, his face a mask of composure, but the telltale shiver in his hands as he places his briefcase on the floor. He glances around, observing the wives, the lawyers, and the judge. There is a flash of something in his eyes, fear, anticipation, maybe guilt. The calm exterior he normally sports looks shaken, and Christine feels he understands that today will render secrets that cannot be contained. The judge brings the session to order, and the atmosphere in the room changes in an instant. The first witness is led forward, a family friend of many years who has been very much in the background until now. Theirs is a tentative, near timorous testimony at first, but as they talk, the room leans forward, hanging on their every word. They uncover small observations, a moment of tension between Kody and Christine, a tiny argument not picked up by the others, a hint of secrets kept out of the public eye. Christine senses her pulse racing, the memories clashing with reality. Just as the witness appears to be innocuous, they let out a bombshell, which leaves everyone stunned, suggesting a betrayal nobody anticipated. The courtroom fills with whispers. Kody stiffens, his jaw clenched, fingers white as they grasp the bench. Robyn's eyes narrow, and Janelle and Meri sit forward, struggling to comprehend the surprise. Christine is hit with a jumble of opposing feelings, vindication, fear, anticipation. The balance of the custody war suddenly seems more tenuous than ever. The attorneys rush to answer, firing off questions for clarification, demanding specifics. The witness pauses, looks apprehensively at the judge, then goes on. They expose personal exchanges, meetings conducted behind closed doors, rulings taken without agreement. Each statement weaves more complication, and Christine feels the pressure bearing down on her chest. It's not only legal custody now, it's about loyalty, trust, and the cracks that run through the family. Robyn stands up next, holding up documents and recordings that support the witness's testimony. Her tone is soothing, but has a quiet intensity to it that demands notice. Christine experiences both admiration and discomfort. Robyn's thorough preparation cannot be disputed, but it puts her own side in perspective. Kody fidgets restlessly, attempting to keep things under his thumb, but each look at the evidence appears to erode his grasp of himself. Christine is invited to give her testimony. Her heart races as she takes a step forward, attempting to steady her tone. She speaks of intimate moments, sleepless nights spent fretting over the children, spats with Kody regarding major decisions, moments when she felt discounted or disregarded. Her words are raw, emotional, and candid. She observes Kody's response carefully, the strained clench of his jaw, the flicker of frustration in his eyes, the shaking of his hands as he grasps the bench. Every reaction reinforces her resolve, yet intensifies the fear that gnaws at her. And then, a tape is played, a discussion between Kody and a family member that no one anticipated, divulging a secret that can alter everything. The tape fills the room, each word ringing out harshly. Christine listens to Kody's voice, defensive but laced with emotion, and other voices that tell of decisions made in secret, plans made without her, choices that impacted the children's lives without her awareness. The room is still, the air thick with tension. Christine's hands tremble slightly, a combination of anger, relief, and fear running through her. She understands that the stakes have only risen beyond anything she might have envisioned. Janelle is summoned next. Her testimony is reserved, nearly hesitant, but it is powerful. She describes things she saw, little things that seemed mundane at the time, but now seem crucial. Her voice veers from cracks in communication, occasions when loyalties were questioned, and times when the kids never were quite sure who they could trust. Christine has a jolt of compassion for Janelle. She understands the struggle, the terror, the weight of understanding a multifaceted family system. Meri is next, her voice gentle but firm. She discusses encounters that reveal both love and tension, offering a glimpse of Kody and the family previously not revealed. Christine hears intently, taking in every word. A sense of hope and feariness, seemingly decisive evidence lies in her favor, yet the emotional burden is crushing. Each disclosure is a two-edged sword. Abruptly, an unwelcome witness appears in the courtroom, a past confidant who is privy to the family's darkest secret, and all hold their breath. The room realigns as the new witness enters. There is tension in the air, a near fear. Christine notices the tension in Kody's stance, the forced breath of Robyn, the open-mouthed shock of Janelle and Meri. The witness remains peaceful, near surreally calm, yet their presence is one of impending discovery. The judge motions for them to testify, and the room tilts forward as a unit, anticipating the revelation. The witness starts slowly, her words slow and measured. She discloses secret conversation, secret decisions, and moves made in secret from Christine. Every sentence is a sledgehammer blow, reforming the family's story and the custody fight. Christine experiences a rush of clashing feelings: relief that the secret is being told, outrage at the secret action, terror at the repercussion. She clutches the edge of the podium, attempting to balance herself. Kody stands up to answer, but the tone in his voice is slightly hesitant. The witness's testimony has been a surprise to him, laying bare weaknesses he did not see coming. Christine sees the faint glimmerings of change on his face, the small hardening of his lips, the flash of culpability in his eyes, the brief glance in the direction of the judge for reassurance. Even his accustomed equanimity is shaken by these discoveries. Robyn interrupts, calmly corroborating the witness's assertions with more evidence. Christine senses the tension spiraling tighter by the second. The courtroom is charged with emotion, each individual present with a stark awareness that the family's foundation is being tested in the moment. Denise Perry looks at an empty chair. Every look, every tone, every silence holds significance, and just when it appears the chaos has reached its boiling point, an anonymous letter is placed in front of the judge, a letter that promises to destroy everything Christine believed about Kody. The judge opens the note carefully, reading silently as the room holds its collective breath. Christine's heart races. Every possibility runs through her mind. What secret could be hidden here? Who could have written it? And how it will impact the delicate balance of the custody battle. Kody's face pales, and even Robyn's composed exterior falters slightly. The weight of anticipation presses down on everyone, the silence almost unbearable. The letter uncovers a betrayal nobody foresaw, secret decisions, broken promises, actions at home behind closed doors, all chronicled in meticulous detail. Christine experiences a rush of vindication and terror. The discovery validates some of her doubts, but also awakens fresh questions about loyalty, trust, and the future for her children. The judge orders a short recess, allowing everyone a moment to process the severity of the disclosures. Christine goes outside, gasping to catch her breath. The tension accrued over months, now distilled into these explosive moments in court, makes her tremble. She knows the next sessions will require even more testimony, more evidence, and greater emotional stamina. Outside, the air is sharp, the sun's shadows stretching long, and seeming to reflect the unspoken tensions within the family. Christine breathes deeply, attempting to find her center, aware that the battle for her children is hardly over yet. She walks slowly, reliving the moment in her head, aware that tomorrow will bring more revelation, emotional battles, and twisty surprises. And just as Christine believes she has prepared for it all, one of the children inevitably uncovers a truth that would alter the custody battle entirely. The day closes with the wives gathered in a corner, whispering amongst themselves. Each one is struggling with the revelations in a different way. Fear, anger, anticipation, hope, and doubt, swirling together in a combustible brew. Christine presses the weight of the day upon her, the magnitude of what's at risk sinking in deep in her chest. She knows that the family dynamic is changed forever, and that the upcoming sessions will put not just legal strategy to the test, but the very center of their relationships. The sun sets below the horizon, casting the courthouse in hues of deep purple and gold. The shadows reach long and black, a visual echo of the secrets and tensions that remain. Christine glances back at the building once more, knowing that within its walls the struggle will go on, and that no one will ever be the same again. Someone close to Christine is about to reveal a devastating secret, one that threatens not only the custody case, but the fragile bonds holding the family together. The courtroom seems abnormally quiet. As Christine enters, her footsteps sounding loud on the waxed floor. The morning light peeks through the tall windows, sending long shadows along the benches. Each creak of a chair and rustle of papers seems to resound, as if the building itself is waiting with bated breath. Christine's heart races with excitement. She knows today could be the turning point, the moment when hidden truths finally surface, and the custody battle takes an irreversible turn. Robyn is already sitting, her back straight, and her expression calm, but her eyes burn with an intensity Christine has never before noticed. They're sharp and calculating, and nearly predatory in their intent. There's a shiver of discomfort Christine feels. Robyn's cool exterior belies a mind-whirling spinning planning, analyzing every detail, anticipating every step. Even in a courtroom environment, Christine can feel the silent war brewing between them. Kody enters last, his usual air of composure slightly strained. He pauses to glance at the wives, his eyes flicking briefly to Christine, then Robyn, then Janelle and Meri. His hands tremble subtly as he sets down his briefcase, betraying the careful control he tries to maintain. Christine notices the flicker of fear, the shadow of uncertainty crossing his face. He knows the revelations today could leave him exposed in ways he never expected. The court comes to order, and suddenly the atmosphere in the room crackles. The first witness is a family aide of many years, one who has known household dynamics for decades. His voice remains smooth, but carries with it an undeniable gravitas. He speaks of tension between Kody and Christine, moments of favoritism shown, and instances where the children seemed restless or confused. Each detail, no matter how insignificant, is exaggerated under the intense spotlight of the court. But just as Christine thinks she knows what's at stake, the witness makes a confession that surprises everyone, suggesting a betrayal nobody could have foreseen. The courtroom gasps in shock. Kody clenches, his jaw hardening, and Christine's chest constricts with a mix of terror and expectation. Robyn's eyes barely blink, lips compressing into a thin line as she absorbs the surprise. Even Janelle and Meri sit up straighter, eyes glued to the drama unfolding. The trust, loyalty, and authority balance in the family seems shaky, hanging by a thread of collapse. Christine's attorney stands up and continues to question the witness. Every response unveils more layers of tension and secret. Secret arguments, backroom decisions, and times of exclusion from critical discussion seem to be the norm in a family strained by secrecy and miscommunication. Christine hears it all, noting every detail, every hesitation, every inflection. She understands that these times may be critical in affecting the judge's opinion. Robyn is summoned next, her testimony accurate, measured, but with a tinge of emotion. She describes what she saw with clarity, pointing out instances when Kody made decisions about the kids without asking her or Christine. Christine observes every micro-expression on Kody's face, the fidgeting of his fingers lightly on the bench, the setting of his jaw, the fleeting glance of guilt in his eyes. All these reactions build upon the story, heightening the tension. And then a surprise tape is heard, a secret exchange between Kody and one of the wives that nobody was expecting, bringing to light secret agendas and concealed deals. The tape commands the room, harsh and intimate. Christine listens to the voice of Kody, defensive but exposed, talking of decisions made in secret. The language is raw, exposing feelings and motives that were never intended to be shared. Christine's stomach churns as the reality sets in. The decisions being talked about in the tape have a direct impact on the children, and the betrayal is unmistakable. Janelle steps up to the stand next. Her own voice is tentative at first, barely audible, almost conciliatory, but it rings true. She speaks of moments she's seen between Kody and the kids, moments of love, no doubt, but also confusion and abandonment. Christine picks up on the slight changes in Janelle's voice, the hesitation where she almost stumbled, the way she casts nervous glances in Kody's direction. All of these add to the richness of the family's emotional dynamics. Meri follows, her testimony calm but piercing. She speaks of the emotional strain on the children, the tension she's felt in the household, and the delicate balance of relation. Christine listens intently, each word resonating deeply. The courtroom seems to shrink around her, every sound amplified, every reaction magnified. She feels a mixture of relief, fear, and anticipation. The revelations are confirming suspicion, yet the emotional weight is almost unbearable. Suddenly the judge requests a surprise item of evidence, a handwritten letter from a member of the family, revealing secrets that could break the whole household. The envelope is broken open, the letter read aloud, The language is cutting, intimate, and intensely revealing. Christine's heart thuds as she digests the consequences. Secrets kept, lies, and secrets kept behind closed doors. The room is charged, the air nearly strangling with tension. Kody's hands shake a little, and even Robyn's calm cracks as the letter's contents register. Christine is summoned to testify once more. Her feelings overflow as she narrates intimate moments of terror, anger, and hope. She speaks of sleepless nights spent anxious about the welfare of the children, bickering with Kody that led nowhere, and moments of loneliness as a mother. Her voice cracks intermittently, but the sincerity remains undeniable. Each pair of eyes in the courtroom fixes on her, each face critical. And just when Christine believes she's said it all, testimony by a child is presented. Words that stun everyone and turn the battle for custody around. A child is led into the courtroom, reluctant but resolute. Their voice is tiny, but it carries a depth that rings in the room. They tell of moments of uncertainty, of fear, of yearning for safety. Each word reveals soft spots, emotional realities that the grown-ups who surround them cannot dispute. Christine's eyes well with tears. This is why the fight is so important. Why each argument, each discovery, each tear is necessary. Kody rises trying to speak, but his voice hesitates beneath the burden of the emotional testimony. Christine sees the faint cracks in his facade, the tremble of his hands, the shifting of his eyes nervously, the quiver of his jaw. The courtroom pulses with tension, each heart pounding in rhythm, the drama unfolding. Robyn interrupts, quietly supporting the child's assertion with further evidence. Christine is bursting determination. The puzzle pieces are fitting together, but the emotional toll is prohibitively high. With each discovery, each tentative utterance, tension mounts, and the courtroom becomes a pressure threatening to burst. And then comes a dramatic confrontation between two of the wives, a fiery argument that has the potential to blow alliances and long-held resentment wide open. The confrontation is abrupt, pointed, and emotionally charged. Fists point, mouths shout, and the air crackles, tension that erupts physical space. Christine's adrenaline surges, her heart pounding as she beholds the confrontation. Every utterance, every accusation is imbued with months of pent-up emotion. The courtroom hangs in limbo between shock and expectation, finding it impossible to avert its gaze. The judge summons calm, banging the gavel to recall order. Christine breathes deeply, sensing the fatigue and adrenaline swirling in her chest. She is aware that the battle for custody is by no means concluded. The disclosures, confrontations, and testaments have merely just started to scrape the surface of the emotional terrain of the family. Outside the courtroom, the sun is setting, casting long shadows that mirror the tension inside. Christine walks slowly, absorbing the weight of the day. She knows the coming sessions will demand even more. More evidence, more confrontation, more emotional resilience. The hidden truths have begun to surface, and the family dynamic has shifted irreversibly. And just when Christine believes she's prepared for the next session, a final devastating secret is revealed that could change the outcome entirely. As the day closes, Christine reflects on the events, the revelations, and the hidden tension. Every person involved has been tested, emotionally, mentally, and morally. The battle for custody is no longer a matter of legal consideration, but one of truth, trust, and tenuous threads that hold the family in place. Christine recognizes the next session will be more bitter, the stakes higher than ever before, secrets that may destroy relations, and choices that will reverberate through their lives for years to come. A hitherto quiet family member is about to testify. And when he does, the courtroom, the whole family will be compelled to face a truth a secret that can turn everything around. The courtroom hangs in suspense as Christine enters. The subtle aroma of oiled wood and ink mingle the general air of tension. Each step that she takes feels measured, planned, but with each pulse, every heartbeat pounds. Today, she is aware, is not like the rest. The previous sessions have stripped away layers of silence, and what remains of the revelations may strengthen or hold or unravel it. Robyn sits in quiet intensity, virtually statuesque. Christine observes her, reading the minute flicker in her eyes, the calculating strategy, the anticipation of taking every advantage that comes their way. Robyn's serenity unnerves Chris, but she is aware that both women have a shared motive, the care of the children. But even complementary motives cannot eliminate the undertow of competition that lurks in interaction. Kody enters, striding with calculated confidence, but Christine sees the tension. His normal calm is now a fragile veneer, and his eyes give away the internal turmoil of fear and irritation. The sessions have brought Fish and his well-preserved facade to light, and today's revelation will further challenge Christine's heart beats fast. She is aware that the upcoming witness will hit at the heart of his believability. The judge reminds the court to order, and at once the proceeding starts, the witness whose name was not revealed until this time. The courtroom leans forward as a body. The voice of the witness is steady but bears unmistakable weight as he begins detailing observations of secret family relations. The tension is palpable. Every word is felt, each hesitation increasing suspense. Just when the courtroom has settled into a rhythm, the witness lets slip a revelation that shakes the foundation of the family, and everyone gasps. The revelation displays choices he made behind closed decisions that involved the children but were made without or the other wives' knowledge. All eyes are on him. He clutches the bench for support, attempting to hold it together, but the shake in his hands reveals his turmoil. Christine is filled with vindication terror. Proof is strong, but the emotional pain is devastating. Robyn stands to give further testimony. Her measured, economical words pile the courtroom high with evidence and insight. She speaks of particular incidents in which, short of telling of the effect on children and the home, Christine's determination surges as Robyn supports the facts she has worked so hard to record. Yet she cannot help but notice the underlying tension that's a silent rival for credibility. Janelle is summoned to stand. Her voice is soft, but bears monumental emotion packed. She testifies to quiet, under-the-radar moments of tension between the kids and Kody. Christine sees the hesitation, the measured selection, the emotions she fights and contain. Each word brings layers of emotion beyond the argument of law. A stark picture of a family on the edge. Next, a tape emerges. A confidential talk between Kody and one of his relatives that no one anticipated, unveiling that might the battle or custody. The tape begins to play, the room going suddenly silent in shock as voices unveil secret chats and decisions unknown. Christine. The words ring with a blend of defensiveness, remorse, and subtle manipulation. Christine's hands shake slightly, a mix of fear and vindication running. The stakes are higher than ever before, and the courtroom feels smaller around her as every phrase resonates with possible outcomes. Meri comes next, her testimony gentle but sharp. She discusses emotional tension, slight lapses, and the insidious pressure put on the children. Christine can sense the weight of her own feelings as she listens. The key testimony creating a bright, yet often hurtful of their home life. Each word adds to her evidence, but also increases the emotional toll. Sudden and unexpected witness arrives, someone whose testimony could unravel every reveal a secret he has fought to keep hidden. The witness is led in, and the courtroom tenses with her voice is steady, near unnatural, but its message is incendiary. She describes secret decisions, times of exclusion, and secret talks that undermine. Christine is a combination of fear, satisfaction, nervous excitement. The secrets are dynamite, yet she knows the fallout will vibrate through all the relation family. Kody waits to be able to speak, but his voice cracks under the weight. He tries to explain, excuse, and set against what has happened, but each word seems to mend that he has created to half. Christine sees the hands shivering slightly, the tiny fissure of his image that have grown wider. The court waits for each syllable, the tension unbearable. Robyn interrupts quietly, providing supporting evidence as state. Christine's hope and resolve surge back. Facts are finally going her way, but the emotional price is astronomical. Each statement, each silence compounds in depth and suspense, keeping the courtroom a taut state. And just when Christine's disclosures have reached their height, a handwritten letter is brought in. A confidential confession will absolutely devastate his credibility. The envelope and read out. The language is biting. Christine's chest as the implicit come broken promise, secret agendas, betrayals, laid bare. Kody goes white, and even Robyn's placid surface wobbles a little. The seriousness of the revelation is staggering, and Christine senses a weight bearing down on. Christine is summoned back. Her voice trembles a little, a combination of resolve. She speaks of sleepless nights, unresolved arguments, and instant she was held in matters regarding his life. Her speech is raw, honest, and highly. The entire courtroom has eyes on her now. Every response analyzed. She senses emotion, realizing that the stakes have never been so high. Abruptly it is summoned to test a voice of things that known up accurate courtroom's head. The child speaks, reluctant but resolute. Each word is heavy, significant moment, uncertain, fear and yearning for security. Christine's heart breaks as she feeling the effect of each unspoken, each hushed, each secret held from them. The courtroom is silent, hanging. Kody's control falters, and even Robyn's taken aback. The clarific trying to child's. Christine listened intently,
As each word confirms suspense but introduces the emotional burden is staggering. The custody fight no longer a battle, but a profoundly fight for welfare. And then, unexpected, two of the wives clash. Angry words spat, tears and frustration on the verge of threatening alliance in raw emotion. The battle, voices raised, and Christine observed, her heart racing, as years pent ahead. Each tear for the drama. The courtroom hovers, shock and mesmerized. The judge bangs the gavel, but the emotional aftershocks still. As the session, the judge, the evidence, the test, Christine is a mixture of this. The day has taken, opening up secrets that will not soon forgotten. The custody war has power, trust, and influence hanging the balance. And just as Christine believes the day is done, a hitherto quiet man is about to drop a horrifying "Sir, every the better." The court rises the day. Christine exits in fresh air. The cold face shock. She moves, taking in the baggage. Each step feels heavy, but deliberate. She knows the coming session require even greater resolve. The sun is setting by courthouse. Long shadows the ground. The same way long, hidden secret remain. Christine understands that what is decided will not only decide but reestablish trust and even the definite. A silent, long thought is getting ready. When she does, her test is so profound that it might forever.